Well, frankly, what happened yesterday was an embarrassment to our country when a very weak Donald Trump kowtowed to Vladimir Putin on issue after issue, where he threw under the bus the whole American intelligence community, which has unanimously concluded that Russians intervened in our elections. I had the remarkable occurrence that yesterday we had a meeting that had been long scheduled. Marco Rubio and I did with a number of European parliamentarians whose nations also had been interfered with by the Russians' elections. And they were looking to me and saying, what's going on here when the president is denying what your intelligence community has discovered, what has happened in their own countries, which even Facebook and Twitter and YouTube have all acknowledged Russian misuse of their platforms. Where do we go from here? And I worry if the president was so weak in public with Putin, what really happened in that couple-hour session in private? And I'm not sure what the way we as Congress can get that answer. We sure as heck need at least a briefing from senior members of the administration about what the president may have said or may have promised. I mean, we know this president likes to wing it. Vladimir Putin is a KGB agent. He knows his facts. He's dealt 18 years on an international stage. And I'm afraid that the president may have gotten taken advantage of in that private session.
I asked a guest earlier, what would be the fallout? What does Congress do next? He said nothing. What are the options?
I hope that's not the case. I mean, Congress was nervous enough about this trip. And Congress, as we know, doesn't agree on a lot. But 98 senators, before the president took this trip, sent a message saying we reaffirm our commitment to NATO. Not only NATO because it is a defense alliance, but because we're alliances of democracies that believe in one man, one vote, that believe in a free press, that believe in open society. These are not values that Vladimir Putin represents. And frankly, they don't seem to be values that Donald Trump is very comfortable with either. So I think Congress could do a sense of the Senate. We could put in place bipartisan legislation that would strengthen our election system. But I think we need to send a message to the rest of the world from both a defense standpoint, that we're still standing up for our values, and also from a market standpoint. I've been a business guy longer than I've been in politics. It worries me when the president calls the EU a foe, and when it says to Russia he wants to talk about trade. Russia's about 30th in our trade relations. All they do is energy and military products. Frankly, we're pretty good in those areas. So I'm not sure what kind of stronger trade relations the president was talking about.
Senator, just on that very point, we had heard some rumblings in the past that some senators might get together and try and do something to prevent the president from being able to raise these tariffs on some of our allies. That had not picked up a whole lot of steam before this. Does this change that situation at all?
Well, I would hope so. I'm supportive of that legislation. I think a president ought to have executive authority, but when you're taking on, under national security purposes, our NATO allies, which I think was ill-founded, I think there needs to be some congressional oversight. Listen, I'm all in on calling out China's inappropriate stealing of our technology, companies like ZTE and Huawei, which I believe are national security threats. But we've seen from this president episodic strength against China, and then he immediately backs down once he gets pushed back from President Xi. This is a president that talks tough with our allies, but frankly, with our adversaries, seems to fold at the first blush.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.